120 grit. Okay, well now it's time to putty all these up. Okay, then we'll leave it a few hours to dry, then sand it back again, then maybe even touch up putty, then wait another hour, then sand it back again, then paint it. The front of the box and the top puttied up all the holes. Obviously I'm not going to bother with the bottom, and even the back of it on this design or whatever. Well, the way it's going to be placed in the car, you're only going to see the top, this side, and the front. So yep, whole thing's sanded with 60, then 80, then 120, so it's sanded right down nice and smooth. As soon as this putty dries, I'll sand it back, and once I've sanded it off, then I'll, if I have to, maybe putty a few little bits that have kind of sunk in a bit too much. That's why I always apply too much anyway, to try and counter that. As you can see, there's a bit too much on there, and all of them, they bank it up a bit. So just sanded back the putty that I'd put on, and then a few of them, as I said, it sinks a lot when you do it, so a few of them I've had to reapply just the tiniest little bits on. He was a bit more, he sunk a lot for some reason. And the front ones weren't as dry as this. I'd let it go so far, 2.5 hours I'd had it sitting here, and look how long it takes. Bullshit, 30 minutes. Overall, best box I've built. I sanded it down. First of all, I started with a 60, okay, which is that rough. Give you some macro there. Okay, there's a 60. So we started with. Then I went to 120, which a little more than that, but not much difference. And just to finish her off, after I'd already sanded down everything and made them, I went over it with 400. Okay, now this is supposed to be for metal, this is black. Now this stuff is really, really thin. Very fine. Okay, oop, there we go. I got the caulking gun in here. It's a little messy, but it doesn't really matter. Can't see it. And I've just done all the seals all the way around the box. Okay, so there'll be no air getting out there. This thing, it's going to be sealed tight. It's already pretty deadened. It's pretty solid. That's why I didn't do any major bracing, just those little bits in the corners. But yeah, one coat of primer. Two coats of primer. Get the sander now, and with the 400 grit, I'm going to sand it back just a little, just to make it smooth. It looks like 2-pack, it's that shiny, and that's just one coat of black. Look at that piano black look. Okay, so that's just one coat. This is satin black, so it's not gloss, it's not matte, it's in the middle. And yeah, it's going to look good. It's going to look good. Anyway, there's 2 coats of black, that's it. Definitely solid enough colour there. Here's the finished product. The box is finished. My lens has got dust on it, so now it looks a bit bad there. Okay, port's in. Going upstairs now to put the sub in, and got the amp here too. So see part 3 for the install. Look at that. Hey, chrome. I just chromed it up for him. Just then, just give it a quick shine up, and yeah, it's nice and look at that. I mean, shiny. Anyway, it's a Advanced Grade Competition Series 2900 watt. It's 2 channels, 200 watt RMS per channel. So it's got 60 amps worth of fuses. So as far as supposedly what it can put out, it seems to be about right, because I mean my 2 channels got 30 amp fuse and it puts out 200 watts RMS. So I believe what it puts out. So we've got the amp mounted on the box, as you can see, next to the port. Drilled 2 holes there. That's where the 8 gauge power wire, or speaker wire, sorry, is going to be going through. Yeah, so that's going through there, and amp fits perfectly on top. I've drilled the holes for the amp. Haven't mounted it yet, but it's all good. And then in the front's the sub. RCA cables, everything, power wire and all that, blah blah blah. So I'm just waiting for my soldering iron to heat up, and I'll solder this wire onto the speaker. So there's the speaker wires coming up through that hole, soldered and electrical taped. I didn't have any heat shrink to that size, so yep, in the car it's going to be sitting like that, so you won't see the port really, okay, but that is where the driver is, over there, so you're in a wagon pointing that way, so the port's closer, subs it this way, so when you open the hatch you just see this DD looking at you. Look at this, people. Look at that. Probably my best box to date, as in quality, craftsmanship, build. There's a few fingerprints on it, but they'll wipe off. Eh? How nice is that? We've got a sub, we've got a nice port over there, got tight looking wires, all the power wire and everything's going to be round the back, so you won't even see it. The only wire you're going to see is the RCA plugged into there, and it's going to go just along the back underneath there. So you're going to see two wires for the hole when you open the boot. So you open the boot and you'll see that, and then you go on the side and you got amp and port. Anyway, so that's it. Next video, part 3, is just the install into the actual car, which will just be wiring it really, how to wire up a Libby, and the main thing, the best thing is you get to see how it sounds.